Sahana bhavatu, Sahanau bhunaktu, Sahaviryam karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhimastu mavit vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Guru Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapiyat Sarvam Trailogyam Sacharacharam Tadpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Vasudevaya. Vasudevaya. Vasudevaya. The purpose of human life, and there is only one purpose, is to find our eternal truth, to find our true self, to find permanent, everlasting happiness. That permanent me is my goal. And that is the only purpose I have. Anything else I do in life is going to fall short. So bottom line is, I've taken birth, and this birth, many, many times we've heard that after many, many lifetimes we've got it. So let us not waste it. So therefore, to get up there, I must use what I have been given. And if I don't understand what I have been given, I will not be able to use it. So therefore, scriptures are to show us the goal. Scriptures are here to show us what we have. And scriptures are here to show us what is the obstacle. And scriptures are here to show us how to get there. And if we know this, then you will reach. But only one thing is lacking. We may know all of this, but do we want to reach it? That is the only obstacle, really. If you have a wish, the Bhagavan himself, Ishvara himself will come as my Guru. Having got a Guru, having got this human life, having got scriptures which I can understand, have got a support, having all of that, I still don't do anything about it. What to do? Shankaracharya says, we commit suicide. It's equivalent. Because next birth, no guarantee. Right? And actually, we don't need to worry or think about, Swamiji, do you know what I'm going to be next birth? Just observe yourself now. We have been looking at the mirror. We know what we're going to be next birth. No problem. What the food we eat, the type of actions we do, the attitude we do it with. Now, next section, we will know. So therefore, to achieve our ultimate goal, we must be clear on what is the goal and why do I want it. Once I am clear about it, then certain obstacles will be removed. That is why study of the scriptures has been very much emphasized. And one of the first sadhanas that we are taught, and Shankaracharya in his beautiful sadhana pachakam, Vedo nityam adhiyatam. So daily study the scriptures. You studied yourself and misunderstand, no problem, but study it. Then, when you understand, I don't understand what I'm studying, Guru will come. Then you have to be consistent. Don't let it come one day, next day don't come. Inconsistency is not part of because that means you're only picking up bits and pieces. So therefore, to achieve the goal or to achieve any goal in life, there are certain things we have to stop doing. And that is very difficult. And so when you try to do something to achieve something and let go of something is called tapas. Means austerity. But that means you're refraining from doing something so you can achieve something. But here the target is your true self. From where you are, the individualized, limited, finite ego, I'm trying to lift myself to the infinite. So lifting to that auspicious is called the austerity to achieve it. That is the austere. And the technique to use it is called austerity. So yesterday we saw that definition. Tapas means that which will take you there. Help you to reach the target. But if it doesn't take you there and it takes you somewhere else, it is called pata, to fall. So that which makes you rise is called tapas. And rise to what? Closer to the true self. But that which will take you away from it is you fall for everything. So therefore, in verse 14, which we read in the last class, Bhagavan gives us the technique of how to do austerity and what type of austerity to be done. And there are 3 levels of austerity. Why? At the level of body, Even sitting right now is a tapas by itself. Then, speech. Keeping quiet in the class. Because most of the time we are always chatting. Whether on the phone chatting or talking. So speech itself is tapas. Then, tapas of the mind and intellect. So these three tapas, our greatest preoccupations, Bhagavan is telling us that we must complete and do that tapas completely and get our mind and intellect integrated. When it becomes that single-pointed, sharp mind and intellect with understanding and with softness of the heart. A sadhaka who needs to reach the other side has to have softness in the heart, which is called love. And should have that clarity in his goal and his understanding, that conviction. So when together it is there, one can launch into the higher. We always ask, what is the expression of a seeker growing in their spirituality? It is not intolerance. It is tolerance. That ability to understand. When you know that you have come through that journey and you have got to this point, how difficult is it to manage and hold that mind without getting distracted? And how many distractions come into our life? We have to all think. Now, if you're able to get to that point where you are in control, some compassion should be there for the other person. So therefore, that sense of tolerance, compassion, love should be there for other people. So that's when you know your heart is expanding. Not out of cholesterol and stuff like that. But it is expanding out of that love. So therefore, how do I develop this love? And how do I get my mind and intellect integrated so that I can launch into understanding the true essence of the knowledge and be able to meditate and reach the highest. So therefore, Bhagavan gives us certain techniques. So at the level of the body, what is the tapas that needs to be done? He says the first one is Deva Puja, worship of the gods. Now, when I say I want to reach the infinite truth, what is the infinite truth? Very difficult to understand. So therefore, that infinite expresses as our Ishta Devata. See, God, that infinite has to take a form, a personification. Then only my mind, which is very gross, can understand. So if I look at my Ishta Devata, if I take Krishna as my Ishta Devata, now how beautiful, cute he may be, depending on what type of Krishna you are taking. You take the chubby Krishna, with chubby legs. Come Krishna Janmashtami, you see my cutie. Right? Now you look at him, you say, Arey, how cute he is. Immediate relationship is there. Any baby you see also, no? That day our Nachiketa came. He was such a cutie pie. So when you see a baby, you identify. So Krishna comes baby form. Then you look at how cute he is. Now don't stop there. Because he is there to represent what is the highest. If only we can inquire. So therefore, Krishna is blue in color, represents what? He is infinite. Anything that is vast, which is beyond our comprehension, if you look at the ocean, it is blue only. So similarly, that infinite is vast, uncomprehendable, blue. So therefore, Krishna represents blue color. Right? So, and then you see him break the pot. And butter is falling all over the place and he's eating your butter. Right? What is he telling us? I can't reach so deeply into my vasanas. So Bhagavan, when I worship you, you break it. You break that pot. You eat the butter. so that I can be free. So the glory of Ishta Devata Puja. So therefore all of us must find a Ishta Devata, which is dear to us. Very important. And we must do daily puja. What, Swamiji? We are intellectuals and you're telling to do puja. Sorry, I told you, heart has to melt. And that intellect, abstract, cannot really understand. It is being put in that form. When you're worshipping, you try to reflect what it is you're intellectual, no? What does it all mean? Every part of that Krishna means something. Huh? Why is chubby cheeks also? Not because he's baby. You have to think. We can't tell everything for you. Some contemplation is required, reflection. So, worship of that Bhagavan. Right? You see him, you see his beautiful smile, you offer flowers, you decorate him. So all your senses are connected. So daily puja. Then once that identification comes to that Krishna, then you can reflect more, lift your intellect. Now, that Krishna also represents certain values. Now, how you should live like Krishna? Now, you should read that. You should listen to that talk that I had given, or Pujya Gurudev's talk on Krishna Avatar. Keep smiling. Krishna went through so much tragedies in his life, but he kept on smiling. For a sadhaka, look at life in a positive manner. All of these things that are happening to me in my life is only to help me. Don't think that I am becoming a victim. The whole universe is helping me. Sometimes I need one to wake up. Sometimes you need a pat at the back. But all of it is to help me lift. I am not this finite ego. I am the infinite truth. So therefore, when you worship that Bhagavan and you start understanding that Bhagavan, you start getting the qualities of that Ishta Devata also. So therefore, physically, what will you do? Not only your physical puja, keep your house clean because Bhagavan's house. Rama is here. So what should we do? Keep it clean. So therefore, worship of Devatas. Then he says you must worship the Dvija, twice born. Now we find that this definition of Dvija in different places means something different. Here, Pujya Gurudev explains Dvija to be the realized person. The saints and sages who have reached the infinite. So if we know who such people are, then you must go and rub shoulders with them. So I love you so much, give hug. You have to rub your intellect with their intellect. Your heart with their heart. So therefore, you need to spend time with them. So whenever we go in pilgrimage and all that, what should we do? Go sightseeing, take photos, look for the nearest restaurant available, complain about why the bus is not proper, right? Even if the bus is falling apart, right? Won't complain. It's part of the yatra, right? Somebody stole your bag. The person you couldn't sleep last night, they were snoring. Right? It doesn't matter. But your aim is to find satsang with these wise, these saints and sages, these realized ones. So, spending time and serving them, worshipping them, etc. Then, the other one is your guru. Bhaja Govindam also. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudamate. Serve your guru. Because guru is our greatest well-wisher. And guru is none other than Bhagavan only. He comes in that form when we need that support. Right? So therefore, that guru we must serve and worship. Again, why we need to serve? Guru doesn't actually need our seva. We believe that without us, Guru cannot do anything. Helpless Guru. Actually, Guru can do much better without us. I'm telling you. I'm sure some of you remember. Many years ago, I had that great grand desire to iron Pujya Swamiji's clothes. Right. And that day Ashiben was not there. So I said, my chance. Pujya Swamiji said, give this to Ashiben. And Swamiji, I will iron. And he said, no, you give it to her, no. I said, why? You think I can't iron or what? Then he said, okay, if you want to, no problem, take it. This is when you should listen when your guru is a little dragging the story, you know. He doesn't believe, he knows that you should not be doing this, but what to do? Then I took it, nice, happy. That time only Ashiben bought new iron also. I don't know the equipment, I don't know the clothes. See, my clothes I know how to iron. Because I burnt it a couple of times, we know. He's new different type material. Now when you ironed, it was too hot. A little white patch. Now he travels internationally, so only three pairs will go. Now in that one pair is one little white patch. Then I said, oh no. So I stopped and I ran with it and banged on his door, Swamiji! And he goes, did you burn it? Yes, Swamiji. I told you to give it to Ashiben, but you wanted. Yes, Swamiji. Right. So actually, Guru doesn't eat my seva. But I need to do seva. Because I need to get to be close to the teacher. I need to understand my teacher. I need to tune to the teacher. Like a radio station, I have to tune. Right? And sometimes when you're tuning, you might get nice cranking, banking, shouting, screaming. Of course, my guru is always very nice. But if you think other gurus may be a bit cranky, right? Because that I require that cranky, when you turn and then noise is going on, because my mind is like that. So that tunement is required. So through seva, you spend time, you observe, you listen, and then you will get specific instruction. When you get that specific instruction, it does not mean that the teacher is killing you. The teacher scolds you, take it as blessing because he is actually correcting you. In public, he corrects you, what you will feel? Wow. Terrible guru. I think I better find another one. Because ego will not accept when you're in public if you are told. Now, right in front, he's telling you, fix it. Learn from it. So therefore, slowly he will tune you, give you the sadhana that you require. You can even ask questions. In public, you are shy to ask. What will people think? These people thinking, I don't know. I don't think people ever think of other person. Why they have time? They have no time to think of other people. They have time only thinking of themselves only. I don't know. How many of you think of other person? Or maybe you are. I don't know. I have no time to think of other person because I have to think of myself. Especially this chapter 17. I am only thinking of myself. Everything I am doing, I am looking. Chapter 17, mirror. Right? So therefore, spend time with the teacher for our own benefit. It is only going to... And here Gurudev gives the example of a magnet. When you take a magnet piece and then you rub a iron piece next to it, what happens to that piece? It also becomes magnetized. So whether it is tuning Ishtadevata worship, when you do that, when you do it to the saints and sages, you do it to your guru, and other wise people. Now who are these wise people? We already told saints and sages enlightened. We told Guru also he is brilliant. Now who are these wise people? Other people who are on the path, who are ahead of you. They've gone through certain obstacles already, So be ready to learn from them also. Actually, we can learn from everybody. Even your enemy we can learn from. People we don't like also we can learn from. Why? Don't be like that. Right? All are wise people. If they teach you something, they are wise. When you think you are teaching somebody else, that you are not very wise. Never get to this. I think that I am teacher. Be the learner only. Till we realize we are only seeking this knowledge. And Bhagavan comes in different ways to teach us. So therefore, worship of the gods, worship Ishtadevata, worship of the saints and sages, worship of my Guru, and worship of the wise. And in this process, we should develop purity. This saucham. I can go on for days, but let us get to the point. What did the pencil tell the sharpener? Or sharpener tell the pencil? Stop going round and round. Get to the point. So what is this purity? This purity is, remember, we're talking about body level. Outside cleanliness. Outside means your own body cleanliness. So you have to clean. That means what? Take shower. Put nice shampoo. Don't just spray. Clog up all the holes in your body. Right? That is called temporary fixture. But later on it will create more problem. Then you have to go to the doctor. Right? Better you clean, wash properly. Put soap and everything nicely clean. So physical cleanliness. Then environmental cleanliness. This is also very important. Now why Bujja Swamiji always says the cloth should be ironed, crisp, clean, it should be prod properly. If you see Gurudev, you will see that his clothes are always proper. Bujja Swamiji is a perfect example. We see him directly. Right? Everything is proper. There is nothing out of kilt. Right? Why? Because that is the saucham. And what is inside only will come outside. Never think that your body does anything by itself. Without your inner makeup, nothing happens outside. So therefore, physical cleanliness helps with inner cleanliness. Inner cleanliness helps with physical cleanliness. So therefore, physically clean yourself. Keep your environment clean. So this week, I had double dose of teaching. And I better share this with you all. Because then only I will remember to do this. See, when you start thinking that you are teaching other person, you forget to learn also. So therefore sometimes Bhagavan gives you training. So, there was those, what do they call it? Altar was sitting over there. Right? What did I do? I took that altar. I said, I will help. Other people are doing, let me also help. Seva Baba, very good intention. See, intention is good, wrong action problem. I took it and I took it to the back room. Back room was already a pigsty. It continues to be. Then what did I do? I could not enter there. So I said, no, these people, I tell you, should keep their area clean. Take responsibility and should keep it clean. So then what did I do? I put the box wherever I found a spot. And then I left it. And then I came. Incident number 1. Incident number 2. Yesterday, I went upstairs to the cupboard to get something, Palviyar cupboard. And this little Bablu had come, so I wanted to give him a sticker. So I know where it is. So I went and I opened the cupboard. And there, a big guillotine that I had fell on my foot. Right. I said, ow! Then immediately, because I was reflecting on this, in that pain I am thinking, why did this fall on my feet? I was reflecting. Then it reminded me, just a week ago, or a few months ago, 2 months ago, somebody had borrowed my guillotine and must have put it here. And I also saw that it was put after I saw that it was put in the wrong place, I was going to tell that person, hey, you should put it back in the right place. Then I started thinking about this. What is the lesson to be learnt here? For me, not lesson for other person. Now, I saw that room messy. I saw that guillotine was put in wrong place. Who got the result? I only got result. Now, when I saw the guillotine in the wrong place, or I saw the room messy and I put it in the wrong place, I should have cleaned up that room and put it in the right place. I should have put the guillotine in the right place so it would not have fallen on my food. Now, instead of thinking, I should tell the people who did it, yeah, that is fine, you can tell. But if I think that I am Chinmaya Mission, I am a sadhaka, and this environment is there for me to practice saucham, to keep it clean, then whose responsibility is it? I see a piece of paper on the floor as I'm walking. Very interesting, I'm doing that kind of tapasana, walking. Right? And I saw a paper on the floor. What should I do? I should complain to the council that people are making a mess, and then I walk past it. Is that what I should do? No. I should pick it up and put it in the right place. And maybe tell council also, but what is my duty as a keeping my environmental clean? That is my dharma. So here, when he says saucham, it is not just my mind and my body, but my environment also I must keep. I am responsible and accountable for my area. Okay, I don't go looking for cleaning things. Right? I might have 101 other things to do. But if I come across it, what should I do? So this is what I understood from saucham. Right? Don't wait for other person to do something, because who is going to get impacted? Who got the toe problem? I only. That person who put the guilt in wrong place, nothing happened to them. Well, something may have happened that I don't know, but I only experience, So the direct learning here is, don't wait to tell other person, get on with it, because it is your world given to you to practice your sadhana. Because so that you can lift, not increase the ego and vasana. So therefore, saucham. Purity, inner purity, mental purity will come later. This is purity of the body and the surroundings. So if we can think like this in everything that we do in the world outside, what are we doing? We are purifying our own vasanas, hence purifying our mind and keeping our environment clean. Then he says we should practice arjavam. Purity, not purity, straightforwardness. One needs to be straightforward. How many of us beat around the bush? Don't go to America and say that. Oh, now you can tell. In those days you can't when you beat around the bush. And there were 2 bushes who were presidents. Right? So here, be straightforward. Otherwise what you end up having is a split personality. It's not a mental condition, but we become split. Because we have 2 different. What did I tell that person? Because you're hiding stories. You don't want to tell everything because what will they think of me? It doesn't matter. The truth is the truth. Right? So be straightforward. Do not create this split personality. And when you have this split personality, what happens to your energy? When you're always thinking and second guessing what you have to do and say, your energy gets drained. That's why when we come back from work, most people are exhausted. Have you ever noticed why you're exhausted? Because you're playing double game, triple game. Right? Everybody is a game only. Right? Sometimes you have to be nice to people you don't like. Useless, good for nothing, and then you say, oh, so nice to see you. Give me a hug, come on. Ask Allah to give one, but what to do? Right? We all know what we do. This is called split personality. Right? Here is, Bhagavan is telling, if you want to do physical tapas, bodily level tapas, be straightforward. He will give you further details later, okay? Don't stress. Because otherwise, Swamiji, this straightforwardness, how much trouble we will get into. Then the other one, Brahmacharyam. Brahmacharyam is what? Always thinking about Brahman. That is what Brahmacharyam is. But can we always think of Brahman 24 hours a day? No, because mind is distracted. So therefore, self-control in the level of mind and intellect. But Swamiji, that is also very difficult. sense control at the body level. So therefore, restrain. Don't go and do things which you are not supposed to do. As a student, you do what student thing is. Don't do what householders are supposed to do. Householders don't do what Vanaprasthis are supposed to do. Vanaprasthis don't do what sannyasi is supposed to do. Sannyasi don't do any three other things that other three people are doing. Right? This is called brahmacharya. Do what you are supposed to do and always be in control. This is called celibacy. Non-injury, ahimsa. This is a nice one. I like this one. Why I like this one? Because physically you can't practice this very well. Because every moment some fellow is running around. Especially these cockroaches. And I have got good relatives that visit me occasionally. Spider. In my study only, huge fellow will come and sit there looking at me. I will also look at him. Now he doesn't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what he's going to do. It's big, no? Apparently bigger they are, the less harmless they are. Just like the Swami, bigger they are, no harmless they are. But we only think it is harmful. Right? But what to do? He doesn't know that, I don't know that, so we both look at each other. Then we hope that one of us will leave the room. It usually ends up me leaving the room, and then later I come back, he goes in. Right? So, non-injury is what? We can't actually physically completely stop injuring. Even right now I'm talking to you all, how many bugs I am killing? How many, what do they call it? Bacteria, they're dying in front of me. Right? So therefore, ahimsa, least harm is the ahimsa methodology for the physical body. Or all physical activities. But at the level of mind and intellect, should be no harm. Ahimsa actually, at complete practice, should be at the level of mind and intellect. You should have no bad intention towards anybody. If you have any bad intentions towards somebody, ahimsa. You can't be called Buddha. That one story is there. Many people, he went to some house for bhiksha and somebody kept on cursing him. The husband of the house. You useless, good for nothing, can't you go and work, can't you do this, can't you do that? Scolded, shouted at him. He still, Bhavati Bhiksha, mother gave food, he came. Disciples. They were so angry and furious. Said, Buddha, Guru, tell us, we will go and tell that lady or the man off. Scold him, shout at him, even give him one. And Buddha said, I didn't take any insult. So there's nothing for me to give back to. If you took insult, you go give back. That you took. If you never received it, what is there to give back? That's why sannyasi is supposed to be always blessing. Even if you curse them, they will bless you only. For that, don't go and curse. Because in Tattvabodh we heard that realized, if that person is realized, all his, these bugs that he is killing in between, right, that he has no control over, it happens. All that's karma. So that karmas all will be given to that people who curse him. So we don't know whose Mahatma realized here. So what is the practice? Don't curse anybody. Because it could be realized. And then that karma comes to you and then you wonder, I never did anything. Why these problems are coming? So therefore, ahimsa, mind and intellect. And when we do this type of austerity, this is called austerity at the level of body. Okay? Okay. Now, at the level of speech, let us have a look.
Anudvegakaram vakyam, anudvegakaram vakyam, satyam priyahitam chayat, swadhyaya vyasanam chaiva, vanmayam tapa uchyate.
What is the austerity of speech? For many of us, This speech is no control at all. No full stop, no commas. Sometimes we wonder when will that conversation stop. And I end up doing that when I'm in class, when I'm talking. When will I finish the subject? Nobody knows. You have to put full stop. Right? So where do you put full stop in a statement? So therefore, what is the austerity of speech? Most of our energy goes in speaking. So conservation of energy. We need to conserve the energy at the level of body, at the level of speech, and the level of mind and intellect. Because that energy needs to be used in reflection, contemplation towards the higher. How much energy it takes to meditate. When you have to hold the mind and intellect in place, hold that body, that's a hatha yoga, hold it. But to hold it, how much energy will go? But if your mind is already running everywhere, that's why we told do meditation when you wake up in the morning. Because you have conserved energy still sitting there, you haven't wasted anything yet. Because after you come back and do meditation at night, we know what happens. So therefore, speech is we must practice austerity. So, what is the speech? In the previous verse, straightforwardness, he told us, no? One must be straightforward. Now, this has to be applied behind it. Otherwise, lot of action will take place. And the rest of us will have a soap opera. So therefore, he says, Anudvegakaram Vakyam. That speech should be Anudvegakaram. Should not produce any excitement or shock. Nowadays I get, these young people put me on Instagram. I tell you some interesting things come up in Instagram, I must say. So there was one man. He won lotto. The power lotto. $20 million, $100 million. That Oz lotto was $100 million. And 2 people in Brisbane won it. And Sureshana said, Swamiji, it wasn't me. I said, man. I want $10, he said. I said, come on. Because then ashram would have been paid off. We'll build a big place here. No need to look for auditorium for Bujja Swamiji. We're done. But what to do? And Chinmay University also paid off. Anyway, Bhagavan will give us that anyway. So the idea is that do not create. So this man won lotto. $20 million he won. Now he was worried. Wife is a heart patient. If he gives any excitement or shock, problem is there. So he was telling his best friend, if I go and tell my wife, and if she has a heart attack problem, right, 20 million is a lot of money, right? So friend said, I'll handle it. I've known her all my life, because, they met through him only, the best friend. So I will tell her, your wife. So he went to that man's wife and said, Amma, how are you today? She said, I'm very good. They're friends. So then he said, I just hypothetically wanted to ask you something. What if I told you that you won $20 million? What if? What will you do with it? What will you do? She said, I will give you 20%. This man fell down. So, your speech should not shock anybody. Right? So, what is it that... So, first point, do not shock. What are the rules? Other rules. Satyam. Only speak that which is the truth. And this truth is very interesting truth. Many people tell, Swamiji, so many people are telling. The moment they drag it a little longer, that's not so many people. It's only that person and that husband or wife, that's all. So many, but nobody is telling. I told you, not many people are really interested in telling us anything. But There are some genuine people also. But the idea is that you must verify your facts. Do not open your mouth unless you have verified it yourself. It is not worth opening your mouth if it is not verified information. Directly from the source. And if you really want to give your facts, you want to tell someone and give an opinion, even in the mission, you want to give it, put your name on it. If you really are a well-wisher of the mission, put your name on it. Don't talk about it with people, go around talking, this happened, that happened. Right? It's all useless information. You really genuinely believe it, put it on paper, give it. And in our system now we've got, what do they call it? Concerns and complaints online form is available. And we have people looking at it also. So therefore, put it there. Say, this is what my problem is. Or go to the committee. That's what they're there for. I have a genuine problem. Here's my piece of paper. Hand it over. Right? Don't give anything you really believe, give it. Then they will take it seriously. There's some people don't like that. Nobody bothers, nobody cares. Right? You genuinely feel it. But if I have to talk about it, it has to be verified by me. Otherwise, don't waste your time. Right? And because most people just love gossiping. Because they heard something they create. And when you hear stories also, next time you have to go and tell that story, you will add masala to it. Your own hand and leg and nose to it, and then you tell. Then that person will add to it. And finally the story will come back to, it's so qualified. I only told, it came around to me and I'm saying, I've heard this before. I only told you. Right? So therefore, verify your facts. And only speak that which is verified by you. Then, Priya. Speak that truth sweetly. Sugarcoat it so much that they don't even know what the truth is. No. Sweetly present it as best you can. So therefore, Priya. Don't sugarcoat it that they don't know. They eat the sugar and then it's like giving medicine. You have created a new problem by eating the sugar. Right? So therefore, sweetly present that case. And then, the fourth point is, it should not create, it should be beneficial to that person receiving this hitam. So therefore, it should be beneficial for that person's long run gain. If it is not going to benefit that person, it may be verified truth. You may say it as sweetly, but it's useless information. Who cares? Right? So you need to verify the truth. You must give it sweetly. And you must know that it is beneficial for that person's growth in the long run. You must think, is this beneficial? And most of the stuff, by the time we get to this fourth point, it's dropped. No point talking about it. Close your shop, go and meditate. Because most of the thing is rubbish. Right? So therefore, Satyam, Priyam, Hitam. And Anudvegakaram. Then he says, such conserved energy, because now you're doing austerity in this, practicing this, you have energy for your spiritual growth. You have more time. Now when I say communication, please don't understand only speaking. Nowadays our communication, WhatsApp is there, emails are there, so many wonderful methods of communication. Check. Is this valid? Is it necessary? Maybe we'll reduce the pollution also. What pollution is there? They're building big data centers in the middle of the desert just to keep our data. And for that they have air conditioners. It's a desert, no? So how much we're destroying the environment like that? I met one man in the Ayurvedic center. He was traveling with me to the airport. So he started telling me what he does. I said, wow. And I never thought all that rubbish that I keep on my computer, I better clean it up, or my Google Drive and OneDrive and all that. Right? So anyway, so the idea is that if I want to practice my tapas to help me to lift up here, I must practice austerity at the level of speech. Okay? So, Anudvegakaram Vakyam satyam priyahitam chayad swadhyaya pravachane vangmayam tapa uchyate. So therefore, daily, when we have this energy, we should practice daily swadhyaya, which is study of the scriptures. And those of us who have studied Taittiriya Upanishad, swadhyaya pravachanecha. So that second part we forget to do. You study, but share it with others. Practice. Okay, you have nothing to share with the other person and nobody wants to listen to you. You practice it. That is also pravachanecha only. Right? And if you study daily the scriptures and the practice is anudvegakaram vakyam. So therefore, it goes both ways. By studying scriptures, you remember what you have to do, what is your austerity, where you want to go, what is your goal, and then you practice it to practice that austerity of speech, which then conserves your energy further. Then you can practice more, and you get purified, and the circle continues. So this is tapas at the level of speech. Okay, tapas at the level of mind. Mana prasadaha, which basically means cheerfulness of mind. You might be cheerful outside, inside, what to do? The real prasada is when our mind is in this state of serenity. When we say a person is composed, I know that's I hardly hear that word nowadays. Composed person. Mind is calm and cheerful. Always looking at life in a positive attitude. What can I learn from this situation? Right? For my growth. Not that rascal, why did that fellow do this to me? I tell you, I don't know nowadays, these people, I tell you. No, what is the positive? You are looking at life to gain the learning so that you can apply it in your life. Remember, it's a mirror of myself. It's chapter 17. The whole world is a mirror of my mind. As my mind, so is my world. If my interactions with the world and I'm creating gadabada agitation out there, don't blame the world. First check whether you are putting the wet cloth in the electric socket and then getting buzzed out. So don't blame. Just check. Look at that positive message. They are irritated. Why is that irritation happening? Check myself. This is all about checking myself and lifting myself. Not to become victimized. It is only helping me to improve. So therefore, mana prasada, cheerfulness and composure at all times. Then, somyatvam. What is that expression in my mind? Is a feeling of giving and warmth and loving. That should be my expression in my mind. The response and the reaction to the world should be love and compassion. This is what good-heartedness of mind. And your mind is maunam. Oh, my mind is maunam. How many people practice silence? For 3 hours a week, once a week, I will keep quiet for 3 hours. And in that 3 hours, how much chattering goes on in the mind? And how many of us will still hand like this? And then write also and give. That is not maunam. Or somebody goes, okay, 3 hours, now I'll go to sleep for 3 hours. That is not maunam. Where your mind's chattering stops. You all should get that book, Silent Search, by Swami Shrikaranandaji. The first step is, he says, stop creating a running commentary. How many of us do a running commentary? Just like the radio station, no? You're running commentary in your own head. Ah, there comes Shalindra. Oh, Shalindra is 5 minutes late. Oh, that's why is he 5 minutes late? Oh, maybe he came late. His boss gave him extra work to do. Maybe, he was just, and then you start telling story. The whole story goes on. Simple, I should have asked Shali, why are you late? Right. But I run. Everything I see, do, whatever, everything commentary is going on. Whether I do it, somebody else does it, commentary. Maunam is keeping this fellow shut. Stop this shattering. So one technique is, obviously, follow Swami Shrikaranandaji's thingy, or do japa. Japa will definitely shut our mind down without going to sleep. Initially we will sleep, but it's okay. So we need to practice maunam. And then he says, Atma Vinigraha. Again comes back to self-control. So self-control physically, self-control in the mind. So in Tattvabodh, Vivekachudamani, Vedanta we say, Shama, control of the mind. At the body, control of the senses. Control of the mind. Now how can your mind be controlled? When the vasanas, the desires are not pushing. So how do I reduce that? Karma yoga. Selfless, dedicated activity, gratitude, all of those things will help us to practice, reduce the vasana, hence the mind becomes more controlled. Then he says, purity of mind, samshuddhihi. What is your motive in everything that you do? One must check motive. Why do you do what you do? And the biggest player in our mind is this motive. I may do wonderful things outside, but what is my motive? And the purity of motive is what is being considered here. And I only know what is my motive. Me sitting here and talking to you, what is my motive? I only know. Nobody else will know. So if I am a sadhaka and wants to reach the highest, I must be brutal to my mind. Means I must be seriously looking at it. Not brutal means you don't go and kill the mind. Right? But Gurudev says, when you are told your mind that you have to do this, and if the mind doesn't do it, you give it a whip. We are ready to whip other people for not doing something. But if I did not do it, right? This is in our sadhana class, we put a rocket under you. Right? Get on with it. Right? Give one. Shut up. Right? So this is what is our intention. So now we need to look at all these things and if we can follow this is called tapas of the mind. Swamiji, these are 3 tapasas, but how does it fit into sattva, rajas and tamas? Now the application comes. If I follow all of these 3, let us see now. Verse 17.
Shraddhaya paraya taptham. Shraddhaya paraya taptham. Tapastatrividham naraihi. Apalakankshibhi yuktaihi. Satvikam parichakshate.
So one who follows, which one? The tapas at the level of body, the tapas at the level of speech, the tapas at the level of mind, and who single-pointedly practices tries all his best or her best to practice it. With that utmost faith that my mind and intellect will be integrated, and such mind and intellect will help me to reach my infinite truth. With that kind of conviction when I do it, and that I do not want any other results from the world, right? I do this because this is what my duty is, and such a person who does this is called a sattvic person. Yeah? Okay. Now next.
Satkaramana pujartham. Satkaramana pujartham. Tapodhambena chaivayat. Tapodhambena chaivayat. Kriyate tadiha proktam kriyate tadiha rajasam chalamadruvam madruvam.
But if the austerity is done, for what purpose? I want something in return. And why I do this tapas? I come to ashram and sit in meditation and everybody is looking. Wow, such a person, such a great yogi, but inside such a rogi. Why wants us to praise? Are such a beautiful sadhaka. That is why we are told, when you do your sadhana, nobody should know. Not that if you are teaching and sharing, that's a different story. Because our study groups, you should share the way. Swamiji, I don't do anything. No, when you're practicing, you should share. But only in class, not just look and some show. Right? Because why? You want some good reception. You know, people say, such a great person. Give you such honor, start worshipping you. Right? Suddenly start wearing white robes, orange robes, hair, like Sadhu Baba, long beard with, jatadhari, right? Vibhuti, right? Spirituality is not an external show. We are given the robes so that you all know where we are at and we know where we are at. Right? But there's no need to show to the world that you are a sadhaka or not a sadhaka. You should know that you are a sadhaka, that's all. But many people do it because they want some recognition. Right? So therefore, gaining good reception, honor, and people revering, falling at your feet. Right? These are all called hypocrisy. And this is said to be a rajasic person. And such person is what? Now here comes the catch. Such person is unstable in their sadhana. Means what? They don't do it regularly. So, catch for us is, are we doing our sadhana regularly? Why am I doing it? Is it for the glory of the world? Or is it for my own purification to lift up there? Why do I do what I? Even when I do the seva outside, why do I do what I do? This is the reflection. Because otherwise, I will keep doing it, but there will be no improvement. And then we get frustrated. And then we say, I've been practicing this for 50 years, nothing happened. And then the other people in the house also say, this Vedanta is useless. Because why? The fellow who has been studying it for 50 years has no improvement. Same story. That's why somebody complained to Puja Gurudev. Right? Gurudev, my husband is still the same only. So many years been attending all your talks in travels everywhere. Gurudev said, Amma, that is good. So what good? At least he has not changed. He hasn't got worse. So stabilize what you're doing first, then go forward. So the idea is that such people are inconsistent. They jump from one sadhana to the other, one guru to the other. Right? No commitment to their sadhana. No commitment to class also. No commitment at all. A rajasic person. Okay, verse 19. That's rajasic person. Now tamasic person. Now let us see whether we fall there.
Mudha kahenatmano yata Mudha kahenatmano pidaya kriyate tapaha Parasyotsadanartham va Tattamasamudharitam.
That austerity which is practiced out of foolish notion. What is this foolish notion? First foolish notion is people will worship me. That's the most foolishest notion. People only worship me when they think that they'll get something out of it. But my idea is they will worship me. Foolish notion. And the greatest foolish notion is what? And we see in the Puranas, many stories are there. Like Hiranyakashipu. What was his most foolish notion? That by doing these actions and rituals, etc., which are limited and it's done by the limited body, mind and intellect, will give him moksha. Moksha means eternal. He didn't want moksha. He wanted eternal life. Using his body, mind, and intellect to do action and worship gives him eternal life while he is living in this body is not possible. This is called a foolish tapas. Tomorrow I tell story, but today we will look at this. So, these foolish notions we have in our head when we do this tapas. Right? And then we think what? Pulling the hair out. Bhajagovindam. Jatilo mundi lunchita kesha kashayambara bahukrita vesha. It takes on different veshas. Different. Pulls his hair out because thinking that having no hair means you're a sadhaka. That means all of us in this room who have got bald head. Great tapasvis. So we sit there and pluck all that. Or sleep only on the ground. That will make me a yogi. No. You just sleep better, maybe. Right? So therefore these foolish tapas, poke a arrow through your mouth, create torture for the body. This is all not tapas. This is called tamasic tapas. People do it out of devotion and all that. Nobody is telling you this. But if you want to achieve moksha, these type of tapas is not going to get you there. But if you have that notion, I want to get realized and I want to get beyond body identification and all that, okay. What is your intention? That is very important. But most of us with foolish notions, we do things. So therefore, don't torture yourself. And then some people does these tapas for what? To destroy other people. And greatest thing, if you are a sadhaka who is trying to lift yourself there and you are practicing tapas, be very careful that you do not have negative thought towards other person. Because it can fire towards that person. Right? Because when you are connected to total, it comes out of your mouth, anything can happen. Right? So therefore, tapasvis who are seriously practicing, be aware of every thought, word and action. Because it comes. It expresses in the universe. But that's for a different time. So therefore, that austerity which is practiced out of foolish notion will, with self-torture for the purpose of destroying another, is declared as tamasic. Like Indrajit, all of them, that was the condition. All right. Tomorrow, we will look at the last of the sections of the 4 austerities, which is charity. And then we will look at a summary of how to remember what we have to do in our life. Bhagavan always gives you that something to hold on to that you will remember. And with that we will come to, with God's grace, we will complete chapter 17. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.